Okay, so we've been talking about critical documents in an estate plan, but who actually needs an estate plan? And before we start, just a quick reminder that this is not legal advice. This video and its included contents are for educational and entertainment purposes only. As always, please consult with a licensed legal professional. Time for a quick reality check. Estate plans are not just about wills and trusts. So, in this video, in under 10 minutes, I'll discuss estate planning myths and I'll also provide an overview of specific life profiles, starting with the most basic profile, someone who's single with no dependents and no significant property, and I'll build on that. Let's reframe this. Estate plans aren't about money, they're about control. If something happened to you, do you want random people or the courts or the state making decisions about your loved ones and your prized possessions? I would guess that the answer is probably no for the vast majority of people, which is why you'll more than likely need an estate plan. So, what is an estate plan? An estate plan is a collection of documents that manages your wishes for your loved ones and it manages your assets in the event that you become incapacitated or pass away. First, let's look at 6 estate plan myths. Number 1, that estate plans are for the wealthy. This appears to be the most common misconception, but if you have any property of value or dependents who you have specific wishes for, you need to get your wishes formalized in writing. Number 2, that estate plans are for the elderly. Actually, the majority of the documents in the estate plan apply to you while you're still living. If you check out my video on the 5 critical documents, you'll see why I say this. And number 3, married people assume that their spouse will get everything, but that's not always automatic, especially if you remarry, etc. So you'll want to outline your formal guidelines and your wishes. Number 4, some people say, well, my family knows my wishes. But if your wishes aren't formalized properly, your family has a strong chance of ending up in court because things tend to get contested. This is why you'll want your verbal wishes written down in formal documents. Number 5, some people think a will is sufficient to avoid probate. And aside from number 1, this number 5 is probably the next most common misconception. Each year, thousands of families end up in probate because, despite popular belief, a will does not fully cover your estate plan. The will is only one piece of your overall estate plan. Number 6, you've probably heard about some famous singers and actors who wrote down wills on napkins, and this usually doesn't end well. And you'll find out why in my free celebrity probate nightmares guide. The link is in the description. And even if none of the 6 situations that I just mentioned apply to you, you'll still need at least 2 or 3 basic documents. Our first profile is a base level scenario. It's an adult in the US who is single or married, no children, and no significant property. And when I say significant property, I'm referring to something that you would want to go to a specific person, group of people, or entity if you passed away. If you don't have anything that meets that criteria, then you might be able to get away with the bare minimum. This is not a promise, but it's the foundation level of estate planning. You'll want to have a power of attorney for both health and financial decisions. Those are your first 2 documents. You may also want to draft a living will. It's also called an advanced healthcare directive. These three documents drive decisions while you're living, so everyone needs to get these in place, no matter how young you are, and even if you don't have substantial income or property. If you have significant property, you want that properly placed in a living trust that can be a revocable or an irrevocable trust. And please, at the bare minimum, don't forget to fund the trust. An unfunded trust is almost worthless. You'll also want to establish a will as a backup document to the trust. And while we're on this topic, if you're wondering if you need a will, a trust, or both, or if you want clarity on a traditional will versus a living will, please check out my 5 critical documents video. It's linked in the description. On to our next scenario. If you have minor dependents, please know that without guardianship documents, the court will name a guardian or guardians for your dependents. If there's an inheritance, it's likely that the court will manage their inheritance. So, at the bare minimum, establish guardianship documents so you can choose who cares for your minor dependents if you could not care for them. Also, establish the inheritance details in writing. If you have disabled dependents, whether that's a physical or a mental disability, regardless of their age, without the proper documentation, the court will control what happens to your loved ones. Let's say your spouse is physically or mentally disabled. This immediately makes me think of someone like TV host Meredith Vieira. Her husband was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when he was 25, very early in their marriage. And while she did outlive him, that's not guaranteed. In a worst case scenario in which you could no longer care for your loved ones, what would be your preferences regarding their care? You want those preferences in writing. So, at the bare minimum, establish documentation that outlines your preferences and your wishes regarding care for your dependents. So, what if you're divorced? You'll want to do 2 things as soon as possible. The first thing is to check and or update all of your estate planning paperwork to ensure that they reflect your most current wishes. Then number 2, check the beneficiaries and the percentages that you have allocated on your life insurance policies. If this video has been helpful or educational to you at all, please like and subscribe. And in the comments, let me know which document you'll be starting with first: power of attorney, the trust, a will. Let me know down in the comments. If you need help drafting your documents, I have partners in the description that can help. This is DK at Grow, Plan, Live. I'll see you next time.